So, as usual, we always start with our 3 ohms. I just wanted to let you know that, when you're doing an ohm, I noticed that, when I do the ohm, it cuts off. You don't hear my ending of my ohm, right? The only reason I'm saying that to you is because it's always good to have what's called a tail on the end of your ohm. So the tail on the end of the ohm is when you're doing your ohm, so I'll like this. Oh, when it gets to that part, so you wanna stay with it. Mm, until it sort of drifts away. So you can do it any way you like, but I wanted to tell you that so that because I know that it doesn't really come across this way, but that ohm, it starts out, really, really big, and then it just kind of gets really, really soft until it like fades off like a little tail at the end. So that way you're kind of like doing a little humming in here. Which is really nice because it can clear things out. It's a nice vibration, that humming sound is. So let's do 3 ohms together for us with, one another, and remember that this is a really good thing to do if you want, if it feels good to you, to do it before you practice, your meditation session and then right after you practice it. So at the beginning and the end, because then you have everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? Oh. 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 Okay. So meditation is this place inside of us that is always at rest. So there is a place that is part of us that is always at rest. But in the times that we live in, seriously, it's so loud that it's very, very difficult to have perfect peace or perfect quiet inside, no matter where you are. And we can travel and go to some nice, wonderful mountain place and where it's really quiet. There's no freeways, no cars, no anything around us. And we can experience the quiet that's there. But it still wouldn't be the quiet that people who lived 12,000 years ago would have experienced. So we're all producing noise all the time, talking. We all have devices that have all more talking going on. So we got all these people, we got all these devices that's just booming, 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 all this sound that's out there. So we're not really ever fully in a quiet environment because sound moves through air. So the air is jam-packed with all kinds of the vibrations of all kinds of sounds that are always made. And we're all infected by that, all of us. We all feel it. That's why I always say, you have to be careful of the company that you keep. And that means like the books that you read, as well as your television habits and your computer habits and all the different things, the things that you talk about with people that are at your workspace. All of these things matter in your overall experience of being alive. So meditation is all about being perfectly quiet, perfectly still, and really being able to find that place where sounds move through us, but they don't get stuck. So we're kind of tense, and we kind of are like this. And every time that we tense, the energy that's moving through us gets stuck. It doesn't just move right through us. So, like when you're in a space of peace, you're emanating an energy. You are. You're always emanating an energy because you're a living being. So you're always emanating energy, always. So as you maybe I'm feeling a lot of anger right now. And so I'm just kind of wanting to like make sense about it, but I'm just feeling really angry. And of course, anger is an emotion. It's not logical. So we could be angry at the smallest thing, but it's because that thing reminded us of something else that was said to us and so on and so forth. So anger is not logical. We like to think of it as logical or like it's a really good thing, but no, it really isn't as necessary as we think it is. It's very, very intrusive. So if I'm generating anger, I'm not going to be able to access rest or deep peace. And what's so important here is that if I'm problem solving, I'm maybe doing something that's important, some important work of some type, but I'm so angry that people can't see what I'm doing or that they're getting in the way. Now I can't access my creativity. I can't access my intuition because anger is taking up all that space. Intuition requires a type of openness. So, in order to be open like that, you have to be willing to let things move through you. It sounds scary, doesn't it? Let it move through me. It's much scarier to clamp down on anger, you know, being around people and then suddenly you catch it too, because anger is contagious. It is. You can be around a bunch of people who are angry and you'll catch it. You will. And you'll have to fight for your freedom to not catch it, your freedom internally. And it sounds counterintuitive to use the word fight. But what I mean by fight for it is that you'll have to put energy into peace in order for you to not be infected by the anger that's around you. So meditation, was we have a practice of meditation, what happens is you become so familiar with what peace feels like. You become so familiar with it that you know where it is. You know how to access it better because you actually know that it's present inside of you. Right now, most of us, most of the time, do not realize that there's a place inside of us that's never disturbed. There is a place inside of us. You're probably like, where is it? Is it on my big toe? Is it in my throat? Where is it? Is it behind my heart? No, it's not like that kind of place. It's in your soul, it's in your spirit. And there is a place there that can never be distressed because it's aware of its immortality. Wait, what? That was unexpected. My immortality. Yes, we are all superheroes. It's true, though. We are all immortal. This isn't the word that I use very often, but the truth is that we're all immortal. The only thing that's going to die is going to be our bodies, not us. Mm-mm. So that's just a lot to take in now, isn't it? But if we would help ourselves to ponder on our own immortality, then things begin to change in our awareness of who we are. We begin to see that we are related to everything, that we are immortal, that we don't die and go into nothingness. No, we don't go into nothingness and become nothing. How could we? So what I'm saying is that meditation is a way to be able to access that peace that's always with us. But when we live here in this dimension, on this planet, in the year 2024, it's a noisy dang place. Right now, it's a beautiful bird, and that's not noise, that's music. But there's all kinds of noisy sounds. And they all matter because it's sort of like our body is one big ear, and we're picking up all of these vibrations, all these unpleasant sounds. So to meditate really requires a great deal of effort. So I'm talking about it, suddenly there's distractions coming from everywhere. Sort of like right on cue. So my response to it is, okay, let's have a little laugh about it, for just a moment, because what else can you do? I mean, it's still there. But what we have to do is to know the difference between what's going on around us and what's going on inside of us. Meditation won't get rid of all the things that are going on outside of us, right? It'll teach us to be more tolerant about things that are unpleasant. But the real noise happens inside. The real noisemaker is right here between your ears. Right here's the real culprit. The real noisemaker is your thoughts. And that's the hardest part in meditation, is to turn the thoughts off, because they're not going to get turned off. This is why you dream at night. It's because your mind doesn't turn off there either. No, it just keeps on going. So when I say turn it off, it's never going to be as simple as, okay, turn your mind off now. You're in meditation. Oh my God, no. As you learn to meditate more deeply, it even changes the quality of your dreams, because they're in there together. They're in the same mind. They live in the same house. So your daytime view of the world and your dream state are, of course, united with each other. So meditation is a technique that comes in different styles, but it's a technique to help us to be able to settle the waves within us, so that we're not reacting to all of these sounds that are going on around us. Because you just can't go out and just, shake all the trees where there's squirrels and birds that you don't like the way that they're sounding. No. What are you going to do? Jump in the middle of traffic and say, turn your cars off? I can't stand this for another moment. You know, can't do it. So now we have to learn to live with all these sounds that are not really designed to make us feel peaceful. So you can see what a turnoff meditation really is. I mean, it has waves of being kind of an in thing to do. I've seen it from the 80s till now, kind of be like, people are like, oh, they're really into it. And then they're not for quite some time. And then it kind of comes back again, There's this interest in it that happens from time to time. But when I was in my 20s, my anxiety was so high, so bad, that I had to do something. And so I started practicing the awareness of my breath. The reason I started practicing awareness of my breath is because every teacher that I had was talking about awareness of breath. So either they were all nuts or they were all onto something. They taught it in different ways, but they all taught the same thing, that thoughts and breathing go hand in hand. So if I wanted to experience greater peace in my mind, I was going to have to really get in tune with my breathing, because that's half of it. Half of inner peace is our breath. The other half of inner peace is our mind. So we have to get these two things to work together, our breathing and our mind working together. And in order to do that, first you have to really feel like when you're angry, when you're having a bout of anger, and then it makes your breathing kind of jagged, jagged and rough, and like that huffing and puffing kind of business that happens there. So obviously, your mind is going to be thinking thoughts that match this. So instead of going straight for the thoughts and going, okay, let me think peaceful thoughts, let me think, you're not going to even have the consciousness to even tell yourself to let's think happy thoughts. The thing that's the most available to change you in the moment is to be aware of your breathing. To be aware of your breathing. So, like I said, when I was in my 20s, I had a lot of different teachers that were teaching me a lot of different things. And I was doing too many things all at once. And I overdid, and I even hurt myself doing too many things. I was so excited, it's like, oh, finally people who understand how I am and I'm learning so much. And I just wanted to do it all in a year. Good Lord. But what I really learned is one of the things that you really want to do, whether you just want to be more peaceful or you want to be a healer or whatever it is that you want to do, if you can learn to breathe more deeply, more evenly, your mind and your thoughts will also be more deep and more even. Your sleep will be more deep and more even from learning how to breathe. Usually the only time we learn how to breathe is like if we're learning swimming, they teach you how to, breathe with your mouth in, and, you have this rhythm that's going on between your body and your breath. But then when you go to learn to read books, you're in first grade, nobody teaches you how to breathe so that you can be still and concentrate. I just put the book in your hand and there you go. Let's start to read. But breathing's a big part of learning. And if we took little children and just helped them to understand that breathing is so important, can't be here without it. We don't realize how important breathing is. If you could learn before you sit down to read a book or access a website on your computer, if you could just sit down and sit in front of whatever it is and have yourself just breathe 3 deep breaths, it's going to help you to focus and concentrate a bit deeper. And you're going to get more out of it, no matter what it is that you're looking at. No matter what we do, if we can teach ourselves to become more calm inside, we benefit from this. So then when you're around something that's really kind of going crazy out there, there's an emergency situation in some way, you can be that person who's present. And you can help others because you have more presence of mind, because you're not so easily distracted by all the other things that are going on. You actually can feel where you need to be. So I'm using an extreme example by using an emergency situation, but let's say that you have a deadline for some sort of report that has to be done. And you've been pushing it off, pushing it off, pushing it off. And now in your mind, you're sort of like, oh my God, I've got tonight to get this done. So first of all, why didn't we get this done before? Because of our mind, right? Our mind was feeling overwhelmed. And then we have, oh, on this day, I was too overwhelmed because I was dealing with that. And then the next day I was dealing with this, so I didn't get it done then. And now I'm here and I still shouldn't be able to get it done, but now I'm going to have to get it done. So what we've done is been anxious. We've been very anxious. And we could say about what? But anxiety and anxiousness isn't logical. Like we think of logic as being, well, this happened and then this happened and then this happened. No, it's a whole whirlwind of emotional energy that gets in there. And we start talking to ourselves and we become so overwhelmed that now we just can't do it. We're just overwhelmed, almost panicky. So what can we do? Sometimes I've had people tell me that they've been trying to do things with their house, but they can't. They're so overwhelmed. Who could not understand that? We all get overwhelmed. We all have cluttered minds, which can lead to all kinds of habits that are full of clutter, right? So we don't let go very easily. But if we learn how to breathe a little bit more easily, a little bit more deeply, and it becomes a habit, then we begin to move through things without so much energy. Because if you're moving through a situation that you have resistance to, I don't want to go there. This is really awful. I have to use a lot of energy to resist. Now, as I'm resisting, I'm not doing, because now the resistance is pushing me away from where I really need to be. I'm doing just the opposite. And if I do it, You must do it too, right? Because we're human beings. And I'm saying it to you this way so that you don't think of yourself as some unique bad person, right? We all act like this in different ways. So we don't need, what we need from ourselves is we need understanding. And we need to come to our own rescue. This is living a life of dignity. When you see that you're in trouble and you come to your own rescue, you're living your life with dignity. You respect yourself, which will make others want to be respectful to you. It's true. So meditation has this quality that actually has to do with respect. Because meditation has this ability to breathe smoothly, to breathe smoothly. Now you love to breathe because you're alive. So maybe you don't consciously love breathing, but it's time that you got acquainted with it and really learn to love it, because it's life-changing when you have a conscious relationship with breath. You begin to see how much we really do need it in order to accomplish what we're going to accomplish in life. So meditation, for me, when I was in my 20s, what happened with me is I just started attracting people to me who were teaching it to me because I was thinking about it so much. I was reading about it. I was thinking about it. I was asking questions about it. I really thought that somebody could actually just like tell me, this is what you do and this is what will happen and this is how it turns out. No, everybody's unique in the sense of that some of us have been meditating for 500 years, because you start your meditation practice in this lifetime. No worries. Meditate. So what I'm saying to you is I learned this from Tibetan Buddhist monks. They said that in every lifetime with meditation, you start with the practice of meditation where you have left off. So there'll be people who go to a meditation class and some will be able to go right into it. And then others will be like looking around going, what the hell? Why am I even here? What are these people doing anyway? You just want to go and pick their lid off and look in there and go, what's going on in there? What are you doing? Why are you so happy about this? It seems like so much work. So some people have been meditating 15 days. Some have been meditating 150 lifetimes. So it's hard to know. So I say this to you so that you understand that it's not something that you're going to master in one lifetime unless you've already been doing it for quite some various lifetimes. So I say this to get over all of the goals about meditation, ambition to learn meditation. What you want to do is start from wherever it is that you are, just wherever you are. And I make it so basic because we're going to do a few techniques here today, but my basic technique here is for you to go from bad thoughts to good thoughts to no thoughts. So if you wake up in the morning and you're still having a bad day from last night and the day before, and you wake up and your first few thoughts are grumble, grumble, and growl, I suggest that you get a spiritual book. You've seen me do this. Open it up, read a paragraph. Read a paragraph. And you won't want to, but if you do it anyway, I pretty much guarantee you'll feel a little bit better. And the main reason is because you're helping yourself. We got drums in our background. Before we go any further, it's okay because you can't have perfect peace when you're meditating practice. We live in the 21st century here. I used to teach meditation over on 2nd Street, and there was an alley outside my office, and there were people who'd been drinking too much because the bars are just on the other side there, and they'd come out into the alley, and it's not ideal. It's not an ideal place to learn meditation, but personally, I learned to think of it as an ideal place, because if you can learn to live with a sound that's a little on the irritating side or invasive side, you're actually doing really, really well. Mhm. Because you're not going to get places that are perfectly silent and accommodating to you. There's a couple places. SRF has a beautiful center that they've built over on Second Street. It's you can actually feel the silence on you. I mean, it's if you haven't been there, go in and meditate one afternoon there because it's really pretty amazing, you know. But anyway, that's a place. But for all of us who have young men who live next door who have to practice their drums, for all of us, and for all of us who have, dogs and all kinds of different things that, they have the way that they live their life, which isn't always on our time schedule. So what are we going to do? We're going to find our own inner rhythm. So first of all, when you go to learn to meditate, and I say learn because you might have done it 10,000 times, but we're still learning. So one of the first things that you want to do is, first of all, just be grateful that you're doing it. I suggest that you just offer a little prayer. Thank you so much for bringing me to this place so I may learn to rest. It can be that basic. So what you've done, if you set a commitment. When you start it with a prayer of gratitude, you've set a commitment. So if you're about to do something that's difficult, if you start out with gratitude, you are committed to move through it in the best way possible. It's a beautiful little technique. It's almost like a trick. It's so simple, but it does work. Oh God, it's going to be a hard day at work today. Okay, but you know what? I'm grateful that I know how to breathe. I'm grateful that I know how to flow. Thank you. And then you move forward. Now you're committed in that space. So I say this to you because meditation, you want to get from a place of bad thoughts into a place where you have some good thoughts. Because you're not going to get to know thoughts straight from bad thoughts. Won't happen. Because as the noises start to happen, and they start to spiral and spiral, yeah, you're not going to get to know thoughts. You have to start with, here's the loud sounds going on around you. But you have to start out by ignoring them. Place inside of you where they can't get in. Now, you know this exists because you have times in your sleep where there could be noises going around outside of your house, but you don't hear them because you're in a deep, deep sleep. So it's possible to be awake and to be that much at peace with oneself. It is possible. Mhm. If you don't know that, you're not going to try as hard with meditation. And I know try as hard is a very bad term to use, but I think you get what I'm trying to say with it. Meditation, if you're looking for a perfect place of quiet to practice it in, good luck. And be really, really grateful because you are going to be unique. Because there are those places where people live close by. And if you are one of them, then you're really blessed and take advantage of it, really. But know that when you're around really, really loud noises, you'll be surprised at how loud they really are. Go to work with yourself immediately. The rest of us who are kind of used to teenage boys drumming next door or whatever it happens to be, we know that when we're in another place that we can still access this thing. We know that we can access the peacefulness. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. So what we want to do, first of all, is become aware of being quiet. So as I'm talking right now, I want you to be very aware of your body. Just be aware of making your body quiet inside. And if you've had an argument this week with somebody and you feel it inside of you, you got to just tell yourself, no, not right now. Right now, I'm practicing quiet. And that's what you really want to do right now. Be aware that there could have been a disagreement, that it could have been something where you feel like it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, and it's interfering with your time right now.
Do you
But
meditate lying down, or should you always be sitting up?
oh, I do not recommend that you lay down while you're meditating because you could fall asleep very easily. And that's not meditating, that's sleeping. So if you want to relax and do some sort of very light kind of relaxation, yeah, go ahead and let yourself lay down. But if you're wanting to practice meditation, it's better to be sitting up because you want everything to be, you want your organs and everything to be going right where they need to be. And we're upright beings. We lay down to sleep. So to meditate, ideally, it's about sitting up. But like I said, if you need to lay down or you really just want to do some healing energy and you want to be able, you're not in absolute meditation, but you're in a calming space, yes, go ahead, by all means, lay down. It's like even like right now, as I'm talking, if you just want to lay down and listen, that's perfectly legitimate. But true meditation is when we go beyond that feeling of relaxation. Meditation is deeper than relaxation. So right now, as you're listening to my voice, I'm asking you to relax yourself. Just relax yourself from the inside out. Let yourself be calm. Let yourself give in to the urge of just breathing a little slower, a little deeper. Just knowing that this is some time that you've set aside for yourself to really practice the art of rejuvenation, of being able to let go of the things that we don't want and to create space for the things that we do want. I want to let go of all the feelings that are tight inside of us, where we have felt neglected or abused or mistreated, forgotten, experienced someone's rudeness. Right now, what you want is to recognize that those feelings are in you, they're around you, but they're not getting your attention right now. No, because right now, you're in your place of dignity. You're in this place where you want your thoughts to be dignified. You want thoughts that are about peacefulness, knowing that, of course, there's things going on in the world that are so bad and so terrifying. But we, right now, are presenting peace. We are working for not only ourselves, but for those that are around us and around those that are around them and around them and around them, to find a place of quiet, of thoughtfulness, let it all go, and to be in a place of inner strength. Your mind is so strong right now that it only wants proper nourishment. Your mind is asking you for quiet. It's hungry for quiet. It's thirsty for the strength of peace. It wants you to take care of it so that it's strong enough to bear the burden of unexpected noise, of unexpected emotions. Your mind is asking to be fed the nourishment of quiet, of peace. This is where you find the healing. Deep, deep inside of you. It's the place where you sleep so deep. It's the place where you merge with the one that we call the universe. It's the place inside of you that's immortal. The place where fear has no place to live. Anger has no place to stomp its feet. And grief is melting away because of the love that you've taken the time to nurture. Let yourself just be really quiet and rewarded by peace. Deep, deep peace. Find your breath. No worries, you're doing it correctly. Long and slow. And this is the breath that feeds you and nourishes you so that you may be able to tolerate the things that yesterday you could not. This long and deep, restful breathing helps you to be stronger than any sort of noise that you made yesterday in your mind. This long and deep, peaceful breathing heals the places that hurt you from the voices of others. This long and deep is always within you, but you must want it. Go deep inside and relish it so that you will remember it. That you can produce a place of absolute quiet, so you can heal. Let the quiet that you are doing be your barrier against noise. This quiet is like the deepest sleep that you've ever had. This is the place where energy is born. The energy to do the things that you love, to think the thoughts that you love, to touch and to be touched by those that you love. This place of silence is where this all comes from. The ability to be peaceful. You know, when you don't feel well, you must be quiet to heal. And that's what we've done today. We've allowed ourselves to be very quiet so that we may heal and be stronger. Because there's noise, the world is a noisy, noisy place. And we want to be strong and kind. We want to have a place inside of us that we can access no matter where we are and regain our inner peace. You find your actual way on your own. Today, I just wanted us to naturally fall into this place so that you could see that you can go to a very quiet place in a matter of moments. Kindly join me in breathing 2 long, deep breaths. Kindly breathe deeply in and release this breath. For just a few moments, breathe naturally. Now, once again, breathe in very, very deeply. And breathe out just as deeply. And once again, breathe naturally, slowly but naturally. And let yourself be aware of your room, of your space, wherever you are. And know that you have helped yourself today. You've been lifting the weight of negativity off of you and replacing it with the superior strength of peace, inner peace, that you self-generated and moved through your body and moved through your space and move it all the way through your neighborhood and through your loved ones. Never keep it to yourself. Move it all through all those who need this help. And know that this practice of silence not only serves you, but it serves all who come in contact with you today. And if you sit in your home all by yourself today, know that those thoughts that you're thinking never stay in your own mind. They too go out and touch the world. I hope that you're finding your way through meditation. There's so many ways to learn it. What we do here, as I keep calling it, basic, because it is. And if you don't go beyond basic, perfectly lovely. If you do, perfectly lovely. Like I said, some of us have been meditating for 1,500 years. Some of us have been meditating for 15 days. You find your own way. The only basics is keep your head and your body straight. Be aware of your breathing. And be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to other humans. Remember to pray for those that are not so kind. And always be kind to every animal that you come across. Does anybody have a question that they want to ask? You can always email it to me later if you like. So I just want to say to you, thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be able to be with you while we meditated together. And I hope that you carry this energy with you all throughout the day. I know I will. All I want to say is peace be with you. Namaste. We're going to do 3 ohms together before we leave. Oh. Oh.